It's Dane from Bolt On Equipment. I'm here with Jesse from Atlantic Mobile Tuning. Jesse and I work together. He helps me out, I help him out. This is my old blue square body. I found it on Marketplace. It had a pretty hurt 4.8 LS swap in it, something that someone had cut a lot of corners on. So basically what I wanted to do, Jesse gave me the inspiration to turbocharge it. The truck's probably not worth spending a lot of money on, but it's more just for fun here at this point.
Burnout.
And I really wanted to inspire other people that want to do an LS swap, want to do something with a turbo. You don't need to buy a $30,000 Chevelle and do an turbo LS on it. You can do it on pretty much anything. You just got to make sure it's obviously safe and fit for the road, and you can fix it up as you go. If you tear everything apart and try to do a nut and bolt restoration and say to yourself, I want to do a turbo LS when it's done, you might be waiting a long time before you get to that first burnout. So that's what this is really about. So do you want to come closer? We can kind of show you what we have going on here. This is actually a turbo kit that I got off Marketplace. The guy had it on a Chevy S10. It's a what's the rate of the turbo? It's a VS Racing.
No, it's VS Racing. So this is a billet wheel 78, 75. So like this is a good turbo. I mean, it's going to max out around 900 horse or so, and we're going to use all of it.
We are planning on doing meth injection. We just haven't sourced a nozzle for that yet. So I do have an AEM meth injection kit that I got from my buddy Cavalier Thompson. So thanks for helping us out on that. We sourced a lot of junkyard parts to get this going. Do you want to talk about these spark plug wire hacks that we're doing?
Well, so a common mistake when people do an LS turbo is you like, if you get in close here, can you see this? So come in closer. See how these wires are touching here? This is an absolute no-no when you are doing an LS turbo. You got to think when you're running a PCM and speed density, you're not going to get a misfire counter because the mass airflow sensor has to be present, and it's typically not. So if this engine starts to misfire, we're not going to know till it's actually dead misfiring, and by then it's already going to have caused us a problem. So typically what I'll do is I'll get a set of 302 Ford plug wires, and you re-crimp these LS ends onto them. So we'll go in and we'll uncrimp that piece, and we'll crimp it on the new wire, and running these around and making sure that it's safe and they're never going to melt is the number one mistake that people make when they're doing this, and that's what ends up being the demise of their engine.
Right, so, and my whole technique here of what I was doing was, yeah, I got a cheap platform to build on, I got a cheap junkyard 4.8 engine here. I talked to Jesse and I said, you know, you're the tuner, you're the expert, you tell me what parts I do need to spend the money on here to make sure that it's going to be successful and not blow up on the first day. And then he was instructing me on, okay, I need the right kind of map sensor, I need to have a good wastegate with the proper spring, things like making sure we have the right differential setup we want, transmission upgrades, right? I had a 4L60 in this thing. It was slipping, it was banging, it wasn't shifting.
4L Slippy.
4L Slippy.
The 4L,
right?
the 6N.
So our friend here, I'm not going to say his name, but he's our secret backyard mechanic. I'll introduce you to him in a second. He did all this hard grunt work with changing the trans for me. Like, I've been really busy with Jesse helping him out with his business and his channel. So we got him to put the new transmission in. We are doctoring it up, trying to make it look somewhat presentable. We focused on all the mechanicals. So our mechanic here, he put new tie rod ends, fixed the brakes, made sure it's safe to go on the road. Right now, if you want to come around the back, we just got some extra tires to put on the back. The tires are on it. Yeah, we might do a few burnouts, but you don't want to be running tires that are all weather cracked and worn out. These ones that can at least get us down the road somewhat safely until they get burnt off.
See, you have to notice here, this is a Blizzak snow tire, and these do really good burnouts.
Shout out to Mike Hall.
Yeah, yeah.
He loves his Blizzaks. And then it's actually got the 14-bolt rear diff, and that's why I really like this truck. So it's a 2500 series chassis.
Full floater axles. Indestructible. So now we got every strong part that you want for an LS swap, and that's a strong rear end, a strong transmission, a good motor, a good turbo, and a good wastegate. And that is a recipe for success.
What's the one last thing you were missing in all of this?
A good fuel system.
No, keep going.
No, you tell me.
A good tune and a good tuner. Because without that, you just wasted $5,000 for nothing. It's gonna blow up on the first day. Ask me how I know.
Yeah, that's how we met.
So yeah, that's basically where we're at. We want to take this up to nationals. It's probably going to be a bit of the laughing stock of the show. It's a bit of a farm truck vibe, low budget LS swap turbo build. I could say that I'm probably into this thing for less than $8,000.
I'm probably into it for that much too, but he doesn't count that. So
yeah, he actually sponsored me. He helped me out with a lot of the parts. He found the turbo kit for me. He picked it up. Like he's done a lot to help me. And then I really got to give a heads up or props to our backyard mechanic here, because he's been thrashing on this thing in between other jobs, trying his best to get it going. He recently just got T-boned in a car accident, so he's out here just on light duties trying to tinker on it with the last few finishing touches done. So he wanted to just come out and give him support.
Except for when I'm here, because I'm like, hurry up.
Yeah.
I want to do burnouts.
He's cracking the whip, so hopefully his concussion's feeling a little bit better. You guys are probably going to have a laugh once we get this exhaust on here. I basically made it into like a full side pipe like you'd see in a Corvette. And for some reason, we ended up with like the rustiest piece of crap pipe that was probably picked up out of the Atlantic Ocean.
I'm not sure if he did it on purpose.
I don't know. I think it's just to meet the appeal. If anyone has an 8-foot truck box that would fit on this thing for a reasonable price, I'm not looking to spend a fortune, but this one has definitely seen better days from like here down. Love to see it. Hey, some rust is falling out.
Nice.
It's weight reduction.
Don't worry, we're gonna undercoat it with rubber, buddy.
Yeah, well, we got some spray bombs. We got some degreaser. We're gonna clean out the firewall here. That brake booster would be nice to clean that up with a bit of spray paint. We'll put the old Vortex.
Nobody will see it when we're doing burners.
Yeah, exactly.
Won't matter.
And we're in the process of finding some contacts in Moncton so we can do some off-road, off-legal road shenanigans. Maybe find a nice parking lot somewhere that's privately owned so that we don't have any trouble.
Yeah, and anyone that has 16-inch tires.
Yeah, yeah, we might need a couple.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it for now.
Awesome.
So this is our secret mechanic. What's your alias? If a cop was to pull you over, what would you tell them your name is?
We'll go with Trevor Corey.
All right, so he's chilling here having a beer. He's kind of kicking it back. We're starting to take over and do a lot of the little nitty gritty stuff. But Trevor Corey has been hard at work since I haven't been able to do this all myself. Just talk about a few of the things you did, some of the struggles you had. And just give us a little rundown of all the shit you've been thrashing on.
Well, first struggle, he brought me an 81 Chevy and said make it work.
Yeah, that's the first.
It ran like dog shit when it came here. Ended up being a couple gallons of water in the gas tank, which then fouled up the injectors. So once we figured all that out, then it did a pretty good burnout.
Yeah.
And then it was time to bolt a turbo kit on.
And we do have a contact that does flow benching and cleaning of injectors. So if you need your injectors done, get a hold of Atlantic Mobile Tuning and we'll get them looked after. And we can even write an ECU file. Jesse will write an ECU file for you that matches them. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah.
Just had to plug in.
So put on, I don't know, some sort of bolt-on turbo kit.
Yeah.
Bolt-on mostly.
We went with a straight charge pipe with just simple. We have blow-off valve. We have a bung that he actually made and we got welded in to put a future meth nozzle. And then we have another bung that we put there for the intake air temp sensor. And it was actually his idea here to actually just use a solid piece of aluminum round stock, and then you can drill it and tap it for whatever size fitting you want. So yeah, what else did you do? You did the plastic rad fan there, right?
Yeah, I put an E fan on because the clutch fan would get in the way of fun stuff.
You still have to wire that up, right?
No, it's all ready. I mean, it's not like...
Okay, so we got to put a switch.
You just got to put a switch, or you were saying an ECU trigger or something.
Yeah, we can figure that out.
Did lots of fireproofing because it's a burnout truck, so lots of heat shielding on wires that are close to dangerous stuff. Did a 4L80 E trans upgrade. That required shortening the dry shaft, so we kind of did a quick and dirty hillbilly one of them.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it holds up.
Well, we have a two-piece drive shaft in this, so what he ended up doing was shortening the first part of the drive shaft, where it's going straight out of the trans to the setting bearing. We weren't worried about getting it balanced or anything, so if we find it has a lot of vibration, then we'll get into that. But he's also a machinist. Corey Trevor's also a machinist, so having that skill set and the tools to do things like that in his toolbox really goes a long way, right?
Take us back to his equipment and show us what he's got.
Yeah, why don't you give us a tour of your shop here?
You're gonna start judging me.
No, we don't judge, man.
All right, well, this is semi-clean. 12-ton press that's modified into a 20. Decent sized Bridgeport. You know, you can take a good...
3-phase, right?
Well, it's a 3-phase motor, but I've got a converter there, and you just kind of hit the button and off you go.
Talk about your electrical connections. They're all...
Yeah, well, that's all up to code, 100%. Yeah, I don't know, if you're like milling shit off, it's got like power feeds and crap, and you know, all the fun stuff. We got a little, there's a big lathe back there, but I don't have it set up quite yet. Once I'm motivated enough, that'll be working. That's from World War I approximately, so it's not brand new.
That'd be good for doing like a big drive shaft or something longer like that.
Yeah, if you had to actually get something indicated good, that'd be excellent for that.
Yeah.
And it's an old beater lathe, so you could weld on it and shit. Little lathe here. This is where I do most of my stuff, we'll say, and just kind of crap and stuff everywhere because it's operating shop.
Yeah, well, it's not like, you know, you're not a display, you're not a showroom, you're an actual working
Well, I had
shop.
about 30 seconds notice this was happening, so.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, all the important stuff is where you need it to be, essentially. Lots of Amazon tooling and...
So what did you use the lathe for mostly on this project? Not a whole lot, just was the drive shaft to clean up the yoke?
Yeah, so like I take the drive shaft, I pop it in the bandsaw, I lop that off, and then ideally you'd put the drive shaft in a big lathe and buzz that off to make it all perfectly square.
Yeah.
We didn't have the ability to do that, so...
You used a pipe cutter though, didn't you?
That's right, yeah, I did use a pipe cutter on this one, so that is perfectly square.
Yeah, it's pretty...
I'm thinking of the last drive shaft I modded, and then like this is actually how much I took, that's the piece out of the drive shaft.
So if you're doing a 4L60 to 4L80 conversion, just to talk about that for a second, you will probably need to shorten the drive shaft. You will also need to add a second VSS sensor, which you pull the wires out of the main transmission plug, and he actually did that all for me, took care of that. So we'll test it out and make sure it works, but really to switch, it's not that bad. So shorten the drive shaft, modify the cross member, couple...
Just on this application, I was able to just slide the cross member back, and
there's different holes.
There were some holes that lined up. I had to punch a few fresh ones, I think.
Yeah.
I had to extend the one cooler line. Right. But I mean, if you can do a transmission swap, you can figure out how to extend a cooler line.
Yeah, so really it was the hardest, you know, the most technical part I'll say is really was just...
the electrical connector for me.
Messing with the electrical connector, and then we got to do a segment swap in the tune, which Jesse from Atlantic Mobile Tuning's going to take care of that for us, which will actually allow it to shift out of second gear. Because right now we have just...
It is in second gear, and it sucks ass to move around the yard. I feel like I'm going to burn up the poor transmission.
Yeah, so we'll get that all squared away.
Move it everywhere is in reverse, because at least that's a lowish gear.
All right, well, I think that's pretty much all we need to talk about. I think we should just get to work. We want to put the center caps back on. We want to go over all the loose
Were you just
ends.
going to put a bit of, like, we can just mix up some 2-part epoxy and slam them on, or RTV?
Just a little bit of RTV. That way, if I do need to service something, I can pull them back off.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have to service the rear tires.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. We'll get he's finishing putting up the new inner fenders, and which actually fit quite nicely on this turbo kit. We didn't have to hack them up too much.
Oh, not even that. Like, it clears the, like, everything on the turbo. Just
to modify it for, right?
Yeah, just the way we ran. We're essentially running the exhaust pipe in an incorrect spot, so we had to chop a big hole out of the inner fender, and I had to snip a little hole here for the atmospheric wastegate, the screamer pipe. I don't know what the fuck Jesse likes to call them.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, I guess that's good for now. We'll check back with you in a bit.
Overall, the day went really well. They did notice that there was some blow-by oil coming from the turbo, and the turbo wasn't always spooling, so they knew that they were going to have to replace that anyways. But the day wouldn't be complete without trying to do a burnout. Stay tuned as we head to the Atlantic National Car Show tomorrow.